Have you ever noticed that some motorcycles get mocked, criticized, or completely ignored when they're released, only to become cult classics years later? It happens more often than you might think. Today, we're counting down 7 Japanese motorcycles that many riders hated at first, but that proved everyone wrong. For senior riders especially, these machines offer comfort, reliability, and real-world performance that often matter far more than trendy styling or marketing hype. Let's get started. Number 7. Honda Pacific Coast PC800. The Honda Pacific Coast might be one of the strangest motorcycles Honda ever built. When it arrived in the late 1980s, many riders didn't know what to think. Was it a touring bike, a commuter, a scooter? Some people joked that it looked like a motorcycle, designed by someone who had never actually seen a motorcycle before. Traditional riders hated the fully enclosed bodywork, and many considered it too practical to be cool. But that's exactly why the Pacific Coast aged so well. Honda designed it for real-world riders rather than motorcycle enthusiasts obsessed with appearances. The giant integrated trunk offered more storage than many touring motorcycles of the era. The bodywork protected components from weather and made ownership surprisingly easy. While everyone else was polishing chrome, Pacific Coast owners were quietly enjoying their rides. Power came from an 800 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled V-twin that wasn't designed to impress anyone at a stoplight. Instead, it delivered smooth, predictable performance and outstanding reliability. The shaft drive eliminated chain maintenance, and the engine developed a reputation for running virtually forever with basic care. It wasn't exciting in the traditional sense, but it was incredibly competent. Today, many senior riders appreciate exactly what younger riders once criticized. The comfort, weather protection, storage, and reliability make perfect sense after decades of riding experience. But if you thought the Pacific Coast was misunderstood, wait until you see the motorcycle that tried to turn a cruiser into a scrambler. Number 6. Yamaha SCR 950. The Yamaha SCR 950 confused almost everyone when it debuted. Yamaha took the successful Bolt cruiser, added scrambler styling cues, and created something that seemed to belong to 2 completely different categories at the same time. Cruiser riders didn't understand it. Adventure riders didn't understand it. Even motorcycle journalists struggled to figure out who the bike was for. Underneath the unusual styling sat a proven 942 cubic centimeter air-cooled V-twin engine. The same engine that made the Bolt such a dependable motorcycle was still there, delivering plenty of low-end torque and a relaxed riding experience. It wasn't built for high-speed adventures. It was built for enjoying the journey. Comfort was another pleasant surprise. The upright riding position, wide handlebars, and relaxed ergonomics made the SCR 950 easy to ride for hours at a time. Senior riders often discover that the bike feels much more natural than its unusual appearance suggests. It encourages a slower, more enjoyable style of riding. The reason it failed commercially was simple. Nobody knew what category it belonged to, but years later that uniqueness has become part of its charm. Riders now appreciate it for what it actually is instead of criticizing it for what it isn't. And speaking of motorcycles that confused buyers, the next machine may have been one of Kawasaki's most misunderstood creations. Number 5. Kawasaki Vulcan S. Many cruiser enthusiasts rejected the Kawasaki Vulcan S the moment they learned it didn't have a V-twin engine. For decades, riders had been conditioned to believe that a proper cruiser needed a big V-twin and a traditional cruiser personality. Kawasaki completely ignored that rulebook. Instead, they borrowed the 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine from the Ninja 650. Traditionalists complained that it didn't sound right. They complained that it revved too high. They complained that it wasn't a real cruiser. Meanwhile, riders who actually bought one discovered something remarkable. The Vulcan S offered better handling, stronger acceleration, and more versatility than many traditional cruisers. The parallel twin provided smooth, predictable power, while the lightweight chassis made the bike surprisingly agile. It felt less like a heavyweight cruiser and more like a motorcycle you actually wanted to ride every day. The adjustable Ergo Fit system was another feature ahead of its time. Riders could tailor the bike to their height and riding style, creating a level of comfort many cruisers still struggle to match. Today, the Vulcan S has developed a loyal following among mature riders who care more about function than tradition. But our next motorcycle faced criticism for an entirely different reason. It looked like it came from another planet. At number 4, Suzuki B-King. When Suzuki unveiled the B-King, people laughed. The styling was aggressive, oversized, and unlike anything else on the road. Some riders thought it looked futuristic. Others thought it looked ridiculous. The massive exhausts became an easy target for critics, and many dismissed the bike before they ever rode one. That was a mistake. Beneath the controversial styling sat a slightly detuned version of the legendary Hayabusa engine. The 1,340 cubic centimeters inline-4 produced massive power, effortless acceleration, and incredible smoothness. This wasn't just a naked bike, it was a muscle bike with superbike DNA. What surprised many owners was how civilized the B-King felt during everyday riding. The upright ergonomics were comfortable, the seating position reduced fatigue, and the engine's flexibility made highway cruising almost effortless. It could be brutally fast when requested, but it could also be surprisingly relaxed. Years later, many riders finally realized that Suzuki had created something special. The styling that once seemed outrageous now looks distinctive and memorable. But while the B-King was hated for its appearance, the next motorcycle was criticized because people simply didn't understand its purpose. Number 3. Yamaha FJR 1300. When the Yamaha FJR 1300 first gained popularity, some riders dismissed it as boring. It wasn't a sport bike, it wasn't a cruiser, it wasn't an adventure bike. In an era when riders loved labels, the FJR didn't fit neatly into any category. Those who actually spent time riding one quickly discovered what they were missing. The 1,298 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine delivered incredible performance while remaining smooth enough for all-day touring. It could cross entire states in comfort and still embarrass plenty of sport bikes on a twisty road. The comfort level became legendary. Adjustable wind protection, spacious ergonomics, and excellent weather protection allowed riders to cover enormous distances without exhaustion. Senior riders in particular discovered that the FJR made long-distance travel easier than many motorcycles costing far more. Reliability sealed its reputation. Yamaha built a machine capable of accumulating hundreds of thousands of miles with proper maintenance. Today, many riders consider it one of the finest sport touring motorcycles ever produced. But our runner-up was criticized for being too unusual even by Honda standards. At number 2, Honda NM 4 Voltus. The Honda NM 4 Voltus looked like something straight out of a science fiction movie. When it debuted, many riders didn't know whether to laugh or stare. It looked more like a futuristic concept bike than something you would actually ride on public roads. Beneath the dramatic styling was a surprisingly practical motorcycle. Honda used the proven 670 cubic centimeter parallel twin platform shared with the NC 700 series. That meant excellent fuel economy, dependable performance, and legendary Honda reliability. The optional DCT transmission made riding even easier. Comfort was one of the bike's strongest qualities. The low seat height, relaxed riding position, and smooth power delivery made it surprisingly approachable. Many riders who initially mocked the bike changed their opinion after spending time in the saddle. The NM4 never became a sales success, but it has developed a cult following among riders who appreciate motorcycles that dare to be different. And now we've reached the number 1 motorcycle, a machine that was mocked for years before becoming one of the smartest used bike purchases on the market. Number 1. Suzuki V-Strom 650. The Suzuki V-Strom 650 has spent much of its life being called ugly. Riders joked about its front end. They joked about its styling. They joked about almost everything except the actual riding experience. That's because once you ride a V-Strom, the jokes tend to stop. Powered by Suzuki's legendary 645 cubic centimeter V-twin, the V-Strom delivers one of the most balanced riding experiences ever created. It offers enough power for touring, enough comfort for long days, and enough versatility to handle almost any road you encounter. Senior riders frequently rank it among their favorite motorcycles because it simply works. The upright ergonomics reduce fatigue, the wind protection is excellent, and the engine feels smooth and predictable. It's a motorcycle designed around real-world riding rather than showroom appeal. Most importantly, the V-Strom has proven itself over hundreds of thousands of miles around the world. Riders who once criticized its appearance eventually discovered one of the most dependable motorcycles ever built. And that's what this entire list is really about. Sometimes the motorcycles people hate the most turn out to be the ones worth owning. So, which of these misunderstood Japanese motorcycles would you put in your garage? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more motorcycle adventures. Ride safe, and we'll see you in the next video.